NCAA releasing a statement that they are canceling the NCAA tournament, as well as other remaining winter and spring NCAA championships.
And then you just say, by the way, de Blasio, I know he's declared a state of emergency in the city, and no events for like 2 months, you said, at the Barclays or at the Garden?
Well, no public gatherings of 500 or more, right. And it could be a long time before events take place in Barclays Center and Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Craziness. Joining us right now, Jon Rothstein. John,
are you okay, John?
The floor is yours.
I'm all right, guys. Good to be with you, as always. It's a day I'll never forget. It's something that, we've never thought that we would see, but we are in a situation right now where there are obviously things much more important than basketball. And I know to us here that haven't been directly affected, we're still trying to find ways that obviously the tournament could be delayed or postponed. But, the bottom line is that out there in the world and now in our country, people are dying. And obviously finding a remedy for this disease and getting obviously everybody healthy and limiting the spreading of this disease is what's most important. This is bigger than basketball. It's not something obviously that we're thrilled that's happening, but I think we can obviously be judicious in how we handle the treatment of coronavirus, and at the same time also be disappointed that there's not going to be the NCAA tournament.
Of course. But it's okay to be disappointed. I mean, we are sports fans, we are Americans, and we love it, but we also understand. I think most people, especially over the last 48 hours, it feels like everything really changed in the last 48 or 72 hours. I think everybody understands, but clarification, canceled.
Done.
Canceled means right? It is not happening at all. Not June, not July. The 2020 NCAA Tournament and the College World Series and other events in Division I men's and women's sports, that is not happening at all, correct?
And, well, you're right. It's more than the NCAA Tournament. There will be no College World Series. There won't be anything, obviously, relating to college sports from a championship perspective for any remaining fall from any remaining winter or spring sports. That is correct.
Will they have a selection show, John? Will that happen?
I don't have information on that, Joe. I don't have information on that at all. I mean, and there's so many different layers to that because the rules that are in place by the NCAA clearly state that the championship winner in each respective conference tournament gets an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. So, with all that said, you're in a situation that, you would have to kind of redo rules on the fly in order to come up with a bracket because all of your conference tournaments haven't been played.
Yeah. It's the last day or so, we kind of saw the handwriting on the wall with conference tournaments not happening. It obviously started with the Ivy League. The Big East took a while, but it finally happened. For you, because this matters to me, and I think it's easy. Of course, it's a little different, but I think it matters to the kids who work so hard. Does it matter to you to say, you know what, yeah, we're doing it a little bit differently, but this is the field of 68. We're not playing the games, but this is the field of 68.
They should do that. I think that should be done.
Does that matter to you, John, though?
I have such raw emotion right now, guys, that, I'm still processing everything. When I went to bed last night, I was very concerned that this was going to happen. And then I got up and started, texting conference officials and sources throughout the industry, and all the response I was getting was that the conference tournaments were going to go on today as planned. And then in the latter part of the morning, I felt optimistic about the idea of having conference tournaments and having a scenario, moving forward in the NCAA tournament that we were going to be able to play without fans. But obviously we saw a little bit before noon an avalanche hit with everybody canceling their conference tournaments. And now here we are right now, a little bit before 5 o'clock, that there will be no NCAA tournament in 2020. And again, like the emotions that I'm feeling right now, which I'm sure a lot of people are, is that you understand why the decision is made, but you're incredibly disappointed that we're in a situation now where there won't be what I firmly believe is the greatest show in sports, but you understand why the decision is made.
Will they give a championship to, let's say, the number like Kansas? They'll crown them the champion this year. Would that happen?
I don't believe so, Joe. I think that's something that they would have done for the conference, tournament, conference regular season winners and so on and so forth. but for all intents and purposes, I don't see that happening with the NCAA tournament. I think they'll just be an asterisk.
Well, we're talking to Jon Rothstein, obviously the breaking news, the NCAA tournament, men's, women's, and all winter and spring sports have been canceled. The tournament obviously garners most attention, but everything was canceled. With the NCAA, and we had a few callers bring this up, and it's interesting, look at the possibility of making exceptions for certain athletes that want to come back and get another year of eligibility. I know they played most of the year, at least in basketball, but do you think that is something the NCAA would or should consider?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things, Evan, that they're going to have to, consider, because this is something, again, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, that we have never seen in our time yet. We will never see a situation where you have, obviously, we've never seen a situation where we have seen a virus, dictate not just obviously the NCAA tournament, but we're seeing it all over sports right now. I mean, this is like a blizzard type state of emergency, except there's no snow on the ground right now. This is something we're never ever going to forget, and I just can't believe that, here we are, 48 hours ago, looking at the different conference championships and so on and so forth, and now we're in a situation where we didn't even make it to the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament.
It is unbelievable. Talking to Jon Rothstein, what do you do now? I mean, what do you do? I mean, what happens now for Jon Rothstein going forward now?
Great question, Joe. I mean, the first thing I think I'm going to do is probably go for a drink somewhere. I think I could use one.
Have one for me, because I can't drink. I don't drink anymore, so have one for me. Have two for me, John.
And one for me, too.
I could use that, and then, I've got to figure, you got to figure out if there's going to be any other things moving forward, and then you start preparing for next season. I think tomorrow I'll flip the switch and start looking ahead to 20 and 21.
Wow.
When did you think, and to me it felt like everything changed with Rudy Gobert, that was, we may have gotten here anyway. Joe has said we would have got here anyway. And you're probably right. I mean, honestly, none of us can prove it, but it felt like everything turned last night. For you, John, as somebody that loves this, I mean, you live for March, when did you say to yourself, this may actually not happen? We may actually not have the NCAA tournament. When did that reality start to kind of worry you, John?
When the conference tournaments started to get canceled about noon, it really started to creep into my head. And then when, you started to see everything kind of continue to snowball from there, I thought it was more of a reality. Then I started to kind of talk myself into a little bit that, you know what, just because the conference tournaments are being canceled, we could see a situation where either, the NCAA tournament could obviously start maybe 7 days from now, or we could be in a situation where we would delay the start of the NCAA tournament. But, I thought that, probably for the last couple hours that this was inevitable. And guys, you know what? Like I said when I started, people are dying. It's the right thing to do.
No, we understand.
But I also feel that, it's incredibly disappointing. So, again, it's going to probably take, some time to get over this. I mean, I remember like I was, on a trip in May in Los Angeles last year, and I was watching, UCLA do open gym and so on and so forth, because I was in California preparing, for this season and so on and so forth. So it's going to take some time to get over, but obviously, they're going to talk about this the next couple of days with reaction, and maybe, by tomorrow we'll have some previews and look ahead for the 2021 season.
Crazy stuff, John.
John, it's, you know what, and I think a lot of people feel this way, and I think you explained it perfectly in the last minute or so. It's okay for all of us to be very, very disappointed, but also understand why it's happening and agree with why it's happening. Like, it's okay. I mean, you love the NCAA tournament. We do, too. No one as much as you. I love opening day. Yep. I love the NBA playoffs.
Thank God we're a long way away from football.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. But I got to tell you that.
But it's all right to know, of course they're making the right decision considering what our country is going through, sure. But it sucks. It's okay to feel that way. And I think all of us feel that way, John.
Yeah, and guys, I know I go way back with you guys right now. I think back to The Godfather Part 2, what Hyman Roth said, and he said it, good health is the most important thing, more than success, more than money, more than power. And, Joe, I know you've had your battles.
And Michael Corleone, and let me say this, Michael Corleone said, too, that he's been dying of the same heart attack for 20 years. Let me also say it.
for sure. But it's the truth, and there will be more college basketball.
Yes,
there will be another NCAA tournament. There won't be one in 2020.
I'm going to tell you something, John, and I think Joe will agree. In 3 weeks, there's no sports going on. When you have that write-up for the 2021 season, come on, let's break it down on the air.
We'll break it down.
We'll break it down with you.
We'll break it down.
Well,
Right, John?
I might have it the way I feel by tomorrow if you want it.
John, instead of doing it tonight, go have those drinks, all right?
Yes.
I can multitask. I mean, wait a minute.
No. You should get to the point where you won't be able to multitask.
Hey, I'm saying this right now. What makes you think it's not done already?
Fully expected.
Knowing you, John, that is right. Yeah, John's already done. Oh, they're canceled. Oh, let's see. I got the top 25 for next year. It's all laid out.
It's part of your greatness, John.
John.
Hey, thank you, man.
All right, man. Hey, be well, be safe. All the love, John.
All right, I'll see you guys probably this week at some point.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're going to see us this week.
I don't know if you're going to see us.
Unless you're coming over.
I might come over. We'll see.
No. I don't think we're talking about the same thing, John. But we'll talk to you. How's that?
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, John.
See you, John.
The great Jon Rothstein. The NCAA tournament has been canceled. The women's tournament has been canceled. The College World Series has been canceled. And it is fine, I think at least, to understand why it happened, agree with the decision, but also say this sucks. Because it does.
That's terrible.
And that's how most of us probably feel about it.
And again, to me, the worst part of all this is that there's no, where's the end game right now? Where's the end game, and what are we really dealing with? I think that those are the two things that, kind of freak you out more than anything.
No question about it.